Good evening, good evening. You already know who it is, targeted individual CJBK. So, yeah, a couple things, right? So, like I said, at everything that I learn, I look, one thing that I always do, I pray to God first. Pray to God first. Um, I ask God to continue to feed me, help me, help me learn to take my mind from the pain so then I could be able to find solutions to things that may even seem like it's just out of reach. Taking my mind from the pain, I'm able to pay attention to certain things, right? So, remember, I told you all about it's in Scientific America, or is it American Scientific? I forgot how it's phrased, but it's it's a it's basically a scientific news company, right? And they report all different types of advances in technology and things of that sort. And how back in, I think it was probably like February of 2008, either February, September, I don't know, it was in 2008, they published an article about how the cell phone actually emits frequencies that we can't actually hear. And when when you place your phone against your head for a certain period of time, your phone is actually having an effect on your brain waves, right? So um, then alongside with that, um, your phone emits an electromagnetic field. If you've if you've actually if you remember from probably a previous video where I said right now many countries are, especially the U.S., are engaging in what's considered an electronic warfare, and they're using a new type of technology that deals with the electromagnetic field or the electromagnetic spectrum to basically help navigate their fields. Wherever they are, they can see the whole electromagnetic um, spectrum, or what am I trying to say? They can think of like the map of a world, like a digital version of the map. Like if you go to Google Maps and you see like the map in like you change the layer to like like 3D, you can see the structures and stuff like that. Well, with an electromagnetic warfare, basically, you see just about everything that gives off an electromagnetic field, right? For better, like I'm still learning about this because I came across the fact that there is technology and software that actually locates the electromagnetic field of all things. Through a video. It was basically like an introduction video provided by Raytheon. Raytheon is a weapons designing company that contracts to military, U.S. military, and well, probably other groups or whatever, whoever else they contract to. Raytheon, right? And basically, from a laptop, you can view the entire area of somewhere and everything that produces an electromagnetic field, right? Now, knowing that this software is available and they can view the electromagnetic field of, let's say a cell phone or a car going by, or anything that produces electricity has an electromagnetic field. Now, they can basically, let's say with our body area network, our electromagnetic field, if we come within a certain distance or contact or range rather of something else that produces, an electromagnetic field, right? Let's say my lamp, right? My body area network and the human electromagnetic field, it like basically pulls. It sucks in energy, and it kind of almost doesn't really stop. It always just it sucks in whatever energy is around it, right? So what they can do, and the funny thing is, I'm gonna get into this now. As I'm sitting in here, just trying to watch a show, whatever, you know, boom, they start going after my tooth again, and and it's not like it's a toothache or it's something because of a cavity or whatever the case. In the previous video, you seen that I have like those. Um, it's kind of I don't think it's metal, but whatever that silver filling that they use in the dentist's office. I'm thinking that might have um, and that might make it easier for them to target that specific tooth. But then I realized that doesn't matter because at one point they start targeting one of my front teeth, right? So as I'm sitting in here and I'm doing, what I did in the last video, I said, all right, they're going after my tooth. I went reaching for a magnet, try to see if I could put it on around the tooth on different angles. I put it on this side, put it on that side. I even put it on top of the tooth and bit down, and it just seemed like for whatever reason nothing was really helping. It helped a little bit, but it felt like for whatever reason it felt like it was a bit more energy that they was able to put to it. So then I remembered I was watching something. I was basically using my iPhone's AirPlay, which you have to be connected to, a Wi-Fi in order to use the AirPlay. So I was basically streaming from my phone to the TV and watching the video. And then I was like, the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi basically increases the amount of emissions that the phone has. So I got this idea. I was like, well, I have all these EMF stones here, right? So what I decided to do, I was like, since the magnet isn't working by itself, this is what I did. I placed my phone down and I basically placed all of my stones on top of my phone. I kid you not. After doing that, I felt the pain decrease almost dramatically. The pain started to decrease dramatically. So then I was like, okay, my phone or everyone's phone, if especially if you're using a smartphone, I don't think like the old school flip phones will be able to do as much because they don't, the old school flip phones, they don't have like, I don't think they have 4G capabilities, but it's such a weaker version of it. I don't think it'll be as strong. So I basically surrounded my phone with those EMF absorbing stones and crystals, and I actually felt the decrease of the pain, and it was a lot better. Like right now, I don't feel anything right now. At least not on the tooth. Right now, they're basically radiating me. Like um, my genitals right now, they feel like they're being vibrated. Like there's a vibration, and almost as if like if you took like alligator clamps and put like a very low voltage current running through the alligator clips that's cut like if you clip them to my testicles or whatever. Yeah, that's basically what it feels like I'm being electrocuted in my genitals, right? Then not just my genitals, right? It's also my left knee, but more along the joint. So like the meniscus, cartilage, anything that's like soft tissue, they go in there. Then but they're trying to go for both knees, but they know my left knee is also weaker because of a fall I had took some time ago, right? Then what they're doing is, like I always say, there's um there's a nerve. If you could picture the spine, right? The spine on this on the lower left side of my spine. So the lower left side of my spine, right? There's a nerve that branches off from the spine. I'm not sure if it's a nerve, but the way that the way this the signal of the pain travels, I'm assuming it's a nerve, but it could be muscle. I'm not sure, but it feels like it's more of a nerve thing. They start there, right? So they focus their attack on that one spot, but then it travels. And then it travels almost like in a line. It travels in like a line all the way down the leg. And then by the time it gets to like where I would say uh, my ankle, I think by the time it gets to my ankle, it branches out into, like the toes and everything. And then it starts to get into this like vibrating, tingly feeling. That comes and goes. It doesn't really hurt that much, but I don't know. Maybe I have a high pain tolerance. I've learned to just soak it up, eat it. I learned to just take it because the one thing that God never promised us is a life without pain. God never promised us a life without trials and tribulations. God never promised us a life without um, wrongful persecutions. God never promised us a lot of things. But all God expects us to do is to be faithful until death. Because remember, we're not supposed to live on this earth, you know, we're not intended to live on this earth forever. That's why when God mentions those who are dead in their transgressions and everything, um, they're more likely to find their second death to be worse than their first. So all of these people that are using these directed energy weapons and trying to torture people, um, for just trying to be good, honest, righteous, non-harmful, type people and everything. You know, we, as long as we're doing what God expects us to do, we will be granted grace. When we leave this earth, we will be blessed, and we will not have to face a second death. You know, and how I'm seeing this all right, we basically we need to band together and really like put all of our experiences, all of our knowledge, and like really try to get the if we could get the media, or if we can get, because I mean right now military dragging their feet. They're either covering it up, or they're not even trying to acknowledge the truth that, you know, this so-called secret war of electronic warfare that they're trying to have this race, this arms race, this direct energy weapon arms race with, China and Russia. They need to acknowledge that their biggest threat is not even close to just being international. They have no idea that there are citizens. Well, they probably don't have no idea that citizens in this country right now have the capability of stealing top secret military and knowledge from anyone. There's so many, you know, 26 federal plazas right there. And that's where the FBI is. And I don't even think they're aware that people in New York City possess electromagnetic field capability, like manipulating capabilities. But they also have, that building's probably pretty structured well enough to block out, radio, frequencies from being microwave frequencies from being able to penetrate through the walls or through the windows and things of that sort. So they're probably fine. But the moment they step outside of that building, there is no protection for this. There is no protection for this. And I think about every single person that's walking around who has knowledge of something. There is no protection from this. For this, there is no protection. You know. So that's why I don't even flinch. I don't even think I don't even dwell on the idea of, oh, someone could possibly kill me one day. I'm like, look, I grew up in, environments where hell people get shot, robbed, stabbed. I grew up around all that my entire life. So it doesn't even bother me. So all this covert stuff, all this, they working in secrecy using electricity and radiation against me. It's just like, so it's basically the same thing, but they get to hide when they do it now. So now they're not going to be on camera when they do it. So it's like, all right, whatever. And then now they're trying to go after my mother. They're probably going after my sister, and both of them are already trying to, fight to, manage their own health. So now here I am. I'm probably the healthiest of them, and I'm just doing what I can. Right now, they're attacking my tonsil. And it's crazy because you know how the tonsil is supposed to feel round? It's supposed to feel rounded? Through the numerous amounts of frequency attacks and directed energy I've taken on, my tonsil is no longer rounded anymore. It now feels like it's been hit with such a vigorous frequency. And when you're attacked with a frequency, right? And there's actually a study. If anybody wants to know about the research study where scientists used frequencies or resonant frequencies to actually rupture a blood vessel within an earthworm, you can actually do that. So if you find the resonant frequency of just about anything, you can basically destroy those cells and cause the cells to never be to basically not be able to regenerate. And something else something else that comes to mind as well. The use of and I wonder if the military is aware of this too, because I mean I'm aware that the military is trying to find more secretive ways to, communicate, and I've been finding a lot more articles online where they're like trying to use like extremely low frequencies and ultrasonic ways to basically communicate without having to speak and use too many devices, because they're like, while they're out there, in the trenches and whatnot, they try to keep their they try to keep they're trying to stay low, right? But the more you use these electronics and the more you use like these frequencies and stuff, you are actually exposing your body to more radiation. And your body is not going to be able to block off as much radiation as you're exposing yourself to. And now that they have these various rogue groups all over, not just the country, but all over the world, all these various rogue groups using this technology all willingly and willy-nilly like. And then there's people who's probably working with them using the technology upon themselves too. So you can use the synthetic telepathy to just communicate, right? As you're beaming frequencies into each other's heads, you are exposing each other to more radiation than you can ever really fathom. No one even truly knows the long-term effect of what's going to happen to everyone utilizing these so-called frequencies and whatnot. The long-term effects. And I just think about how God said, worry not, for those who are dead in their transgressions, for death shall come upon them suddenly. I'm just paraphrasing. I will come upon them like a knock at the door. And I'm just like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just let God handle this. Because the one thing I cannot do is allow myself to be, I can't allow myself to do anything that would make me seem like the aggressor. I can't do anything that'll make me seem like I'm the one well, basically, I can't give them the satisfaction of letting people actually believe that I was a threat. So, like I tell people all the time, and like I tell other, target individuals, video document everything, record everything, write down everything. It doesn't matter if people don't believe you right away. It doesn't matter if people believe you. God said, those who have ears will hear, those who have eyes will see. Those who have spiritual discernment, they will be able to decipher, what is true and what is not. Because if you are one of God's children, you will see things and hear things that you are meant to, and you will take that in under serious consideration, and you will be able to work out everything. So let me see. No, they're still radiating me. Well, I mean, my bed has metal coils in it, so this my bed is basically like full of radiation. I'm ordering a EMF, like an official EMF detector soon. I plan to also get a thermal imaging scanner too. So I got those two on my mind, and what else? Yeah, I'm working on a couple of things. So as I slowly try to figure out what I can use to help others, because like right at this point, I'm already accepting of my position in this world. I take it in consideration that I was chosen by God to no longer be of the world. And now that I'm no longer of the world hates me, and the world wants to see me gone. So, yeah, I've already accepted that. And they think because it's non-lethal and that it's supposed to just, cause pain or cause a deterrent or demoralize, because that's what the perps love to use, demoralize. They believe they're demoralizing me, but it's actually a slow kill. Anytime you use radiation on someone, you're slowly killing them. It's not that it's going to kill them right away, but you're slowly killing them. You're destroying their cells. You're destroying the cell's ability to regenerate. Um, but like I said, they're doing everything that they can, and still, I will not break. I will continue to keep doing what God has destined for me to do. I've grown to believe that, God has been building me up for this day for years, for several years. And, I'm going to be, I'm an open book, so I don't have anything to hide. The perps have everything to hide. This is why they try to torture you. This is why they try to slow kill you for speaking up about it, because they have so much to hide. They love the world so much that they are willing to kill for their position in this world. They love the world so much they're willing to kill for their position in the world, not even realizing once you leave this earth, everything that you fought for, everything that you killed for, everything that you did to try to make your life here on earth, your life here on earth seems to be so much easier or more able to withstand. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible because they have no idea that none of this means anything really. None of this. None of this. I mean, like I live in New York City, and anybody could probably tell you, yeah, living in New York City is probably fun or it looks nice, depending on where you are. It's, full of so much culture and people, but at the same time, it's definitely a place that you have to be very, very um, careful with, spiritually, physically, and mentally. Like living in a place like New York City, Los Angeles, in basically big metropolis areas, you actually are endangering yourself more by being around so much than anyone who is living in much more free, open, nature like places. Why? Because their bodies aren't being bombarded by so much. Their mind isn't being bombarded with so much, you know. And, to be honest, I feel like I definitely was meant to be that person to remind people that we all need to come back to being, you know, naturalistic. We need to come back to a life of being minimalist. I know a majority is going to be like, what? Minimalist? Hell no. But at the same time, when you think about it, the Amish don't deal with probably like 75 to 80% of the stuff that we deal with. When you think about it, the Amish, tribal, and tribal or indigenous people, when they're not being messed with by people of the world, they don't deal with like 3/4 of the amount of stuff that we deal with. Why? Because, naturally and spiritually, simplicity is the closest thing, is like the closest thing to godliness. And we are actually killing ourselves. There's a reason why some of the most, besides genetics, there's a reason why some of the most longest living people don't necessarily live in large metropolitan areas. Why? Because there's a lot less environmental things that's destroying, that's, going against their body. Like I said, besides genetics, our environments and the people that we surround ourselves around is what really plays the biggest role on our health. And hell, me, I was never a problem to anyone before any of this. But, they're like, oh, you snitching on people, you messing with people's livelihoods. But I guess my livelihood mattered to nobody when I wasn't doing anything to nobody. And then all of a sudden, someone starts using these frequency transmissions into my mind, telling me that they're offering me an opportunity, and all I had to do is join the police force. But if I refused I did refuse the opportunity because, for one, why is there a stranger sending frequency transmissions into my mind and then telling me that they're trying to offer me an opportunity that I never asked for? And then on top of that, because I refuse to accept the idea that I'm hearing someone transmitting a frequency into my mind, and I found that to be alarming, and I went to go and seek some type of help, maybe from medical professionals who have the technology that could probably find out what's all this, but then come to realize they're a part of it too. So then now that I spoke up about these transmissions that's going into my mind, and they're basically telling me, oh, you snitched to the doctors on us. And I'm just like, first of all, I never wanted to know about any of this. I never asked anybody for an opportunity. I create opportunities for myself. Most of the time, I create my own opportunities. And then on top of that, if an opportunity comes along and it makes sense for me to take part of it, then I would do so. But then they're saying that all you have to do is become a police officer. And, well, that's all they would say. They wouldn't give me any more details. And I would not trust anyone who tries to tell me all you got to do and then not give me any more details. No, no. So, what they're basically trying to do is, because I'm being remote neural monitored, they see what I see, they hear what I hear. They can basically get the visual extracted image of anything that I think or any thought that I produce. They can see it on their screens because of up conversion of the brainwave activities that are being produced in my mind. Any thought that I produce is a frequency, so that frequency is, where is that? Where is it? There. So right here, and I could literally feel it, because all I have to do, and thank you, Lord, for bringing me to the knowledge of qigong exercises, because I've been practicing how to understand energy and everything. I can feel the energy that's not mine, that's actually connected to my 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 brain. So it's like right here. So there's basically like a magnetic beam. Of course you can't see it, but that's one of the reasons why I want to get a thermal imaging camera, because it produces a heat. It produces a heat itself. So it wherever they're connected to, where not sure what, it's probably a satellite, cell tower. Well, there are cell towers on top of here, but it doesn't even matter, because I think it's satellite. I strongly believe it's satellite, because when I watched the Raytheon video about electromagnetic spectrum, and how they see the whole landscape of an environment based on the electromagnetic fields of that landscape, they're using satellites. So they're basically extracting everything that I think, or every thought, or whatever. They extract it and it goes to the satellite. The satellite probably runs it through a brain computer interface, and that's how they're able to see everything. But yeah, and I know they're listening, and I know everyone who's a part of the gang stalking slash or forward slash backslash secret society. They have no idea the amount of radiation that they're taking in. let alone if they get vaccinated. So that's a whole nother story. But the amount of radiation they're taking in from letting these people be able to be able to transmit frequencies into them, they don't realize they're actually dying faster. They don't realize they're actually dying faster too. A third of the world's population is about to be taken out by the very same weapons they are using against people who are righteous. A third of the world is basically about 3.2, 3.1 billion. So, yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's all I got for now. I gotta start working on my oh wait, I don't know if I showed you guys these yet, but I got my bag of shungite, stones and crystals. So yeah, I'm learning more about that and how beneficial shungite water truly is. Shungite water is supposed to really help when it comes to detoxing, pain relief, arthritis, a lot of other illnesses and so forth. But yeah, you could look it up online. Shungite water. It is acidic, so it's probably best to balance it out with something else. So probably buy some pH test strips. When you if you decide to start making your own shungite water, buy some pH test strips so you can test the water. But I was thinking, because I know baking soda can actually alkalize or alkaline water. So yeah, I think what I'll probably do is when I place the shungite in, I'm probably gonna use like a big, like kind of like a mason jar or something like that. And then I'll place one of the shungite stones inside the water, and then maybe add amounts of baking soda to try to alkaline the water a little bit more. But anyway, yeah, and this is interesting because the more I post and the more I share my knowledge of this here secret weapon, um, I'm getting, I'm seeing an uptick in two things. One, I'm starting to notice more TIs from around the world acknowledging me and acknowledging my efforts on trying to do everything that I can to show them your best bet is to not let the pain take you. Do not let the pain take you. I know it hurts. I'm hurting too. I know it hurts. I know it hurts, but you have to learn to use that pain. You have to learn to just like focus. You have to focus on something else. You have to focus on like me. If I allow myself to get angry, and then it's pointless for me to get angry because then anger just basically makes you want to do something physical. But who are you going to do something physical to? The people who are doing things to you are hiding from you. So you can't be the aggressor against someone who doesn't, especially if you don't have any witnesses around you. You can't be the aggressor. You have to be the one that basically learns about what's happening to your body. The more you pay attention to your body, because trust me, your body speaks to you. Your body literally speaks to you, not like in words, but your body will tell you exactly what is happening. And you have the power of information all at your fingertips or on a computer, whatever. Pay attention to your body. Search key terms. I don't use Google. Google hides information from people. I use DuckDuckGo, use Lycos, anything but Google. Just search for key words or key terms about what's happening to your body. Learn about electromagnetic fields. Learn about dirty electricity. Um learn about brain computer interface. Learn about electromagnetic spectrum. Learn about electronic warfare. Learn about um learn about EMF absorbing crystals. Learn about um, learn about graphene. Matter of fact, there's a company in the UK. I think it's called Protect a Bed. I think that's the name of the company. It's called Protect a Bed. They have a graphene infused bed cover. Now get this. It regulates body temperature. It absorbs energy that your body does not need. Because trust me, your body self regulates energy. Your body self regulates. But when they're directing energy at your body, your body just take it in, take it in, take it in. Unless you practice qigong exercises where you can learn disperse or remove energy from your body, or you're doing something else like grounding or copper grounding. If you're doing something to actively balance that energy that they're directing to you, then that's one thing. But when you sleep, it's kind of a different story, because when you sleep, especially if you have a mattress, a regular spring mattress, the coils are conducting that radiation, that ionized energy. The coils, the metal coils, are holding it in. So if you're ever laying down on your couch, on your bed, if you're sitting on a chair and you feel your whole body vibrating, that is because they're directing energy at you. And then also, the metal that you're sitting on, that you're lying on, it's conducting the radiation. And when you sit on it, your body absorbs it. And then your body it's going through like a structural DNA change. Every cell in your body is being attacked with radiation. So, yeah, like I said, faithful unto death. I'll lay my life down for y'all, because I know y'all just as innocent as I am, and regardless of what the perps are saying or doing, I don't, I don't, I don't hate. I don't hate. I feel sorry for them, actually. I do, because anybody who feels like they need to go to this extent to try to find happiness in life, that's a very broken individual. Because there's people with far less material things in this world who live very, very joyful lives. I mean, they're just happy to just be alive. But this is what they do. So anyway, yeah, just wanted to get that one off. I'll keep everyone up to date on everything. Um, and if you don't see me post a video or something after, like, if like, trust and believe, if 2 weeks go by and you don't hear from me, something probably happened. So yeah. And if something happened, I would hope y'all would at least, like, I would hope y'all would, like, write the news, or somebody just be like, what happened to Chris James? He was a target. Everyone was trying to tune into him and everything. Look, the mind has no firewall. That's actually a a published article that was written in 1998. I forgot his name. Timothy something. I think it was Timothy. But anyway, Yeah, The Mind Has No Firewall. It was written in 1998. So 1998. This is way before everyone was getting cell phones. Just keep that in mind. 1998, and he's got and the writer, who is I think he was a scientist or neurologist or something like that, physicist even. Timothy something, I can't remember, but anyway, he goes into great detail about how the brain literally has no defense against incoming frequencies. You know, and especially when the frequencies are extremely low being it's below the hearing range of like an adult or child, ear. Like there's frequencies that are being transmitted that we can't actually hear, like sound that we can't hear. So yeah, and our brain takes in those frequencies and it still decodes it, right? Our brain will still decode that frequency, you know, whether we realize it or not. So a frequency can basically change our emotion. A frequency can can create a thought in our mind, you know. But anyway, yeah. As always, you already know. Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.